Welcome to Music Gear Talk. Discover the music tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
Hey everyone, this is Rodney Elliott with Music Gear Talk. We are really excited today to have Tom Lanni. Is that how we're pronouncing it?
Yeah, that's close enough.
Close enough?
Yeah.
And his company is called Tensor Basses. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we're really excited. He kind of caught my attention at NAMM. I saw a couple really cool basses, and of course I have to always at least touch them much and play them. I started playing them. He came over, and I was just like, you got to come on our show at some point. I'm just super impressed with the way they sounded, the way they played. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to kind of jumping in here. We're also lucky enough to have Mr. Florentino, who's a bass player himself, who has lots of questions he wants to ask. So
I'm just sitting in on this one, going to hopefully get some more information. I already got a lot of good stuff. I also want to shamelessly plug the radio network here, Intertalk Radio, at intertalkradio.com. because we are out there making this industry more well-known. That's what our goal is, to be able to provide a resource for all the people who are listening right now. Some information about cool companies like Tensor Basses, and I'm going to be excited about this because I am a bass player, and you have both 4 and 5 string basses, which makes that all the better.
And we also want to thank SIR for sponsoring our show tonight, and Pitbull Audio, who has been graciously enough to be a part of our organization here. So, yeah, jumping right into it. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about where you started. Are you a bass player per se, or was that just an avenue that ended up happening? Are you a guitar player starting? I mean, where did you start?
Tom's a rock star. That's
other than playing.
Yeah, that was my first career. I started out like everybody. Rock and roll was going to be it. In high school, in a band.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else. We're going to be the next Beatles. And I go back a ways before you guys.
That's what he's saying. He has no idea I shave my head because I have gray hair, but yeah.
Well, I started out as a rock and roll star. I picked up bass, and I think the reason I decided on bass was it had 4 strings, and I don't have to play one note at a time.
Less strings. There you go.
Yeah, less strings to worry about. Didn't have to play those chords and stuff.
One note at a time.
One note at a time. Just keep the groove. It was a lot more straightforward for my simple mind. So, little did I know how complicated it would get.
Right.
And so that's how I started out. And we had all kinds of aspirations of being rock and roll stars, and saved up our money and cut some demo tapes and sent them out to all of the recording companies. And
where was this at?
I was living on Long Island at the time.
Long Island.
Yeah.
We didn't hear that in your accent at all.
Yeah. And so, I got an interview actually with Columbia. We did, and went in and had our interview and got the bad news that this probably wasn't a good career path for us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Something about the odds of you making this business are worse than you getting killed on your way home in a car accident was pretty much the speech we got.
Wow. That obviously didn't change anything in your entertainment, though. You're still working in entertainment to this day.
Well, I did take a little bit of a detour into engineering for a while. So
got it. Okay.
Last 35 years,
Nice. Okay.
And, so it was, it's always been a passion of mine, but, it kind of became, I had to go to Plan B.
Okay.
To make a living.
Sure.
Went into electronics and then into engineering. And spent the last 35 years in the engineering world, electrical engineering, and, branched out into other disciplines as I took over more and more engineering responsibilities. And so I kind of came to the conclusion, as I still played bass, and woodworking was something that was a kind of something I did to keep my head from falling apart, and started looking at, a few years back, designing basses. I just wanted to start building bass guitars because I figured, why not? I'm a bass player, I'm an engineer, and I work with wood.
There you go.
I mean, you got all the pieces there.
It just all happened.
It all happened. And so that's, how this all got started. And essentially what I was looking at was at the time I was playing a 5-string. It was a Spectre Euro 5.
We love it.
Nice bass. 11.5 pounds. Little on the heavy side.
Yeah, that's a little heavy.
Good chunky size neck on it.
Top
And
heavy or bottom heavy at all?
It's good if you have to hit the drummer with it, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Rodney's
It's a
a
good
drummer.
weapon. It's a good weapon. Well, see, as an aside to that, I have to tell you that back in after I left playing with the band and started working in electronics, I actually worked for Sam Ash Music for a while.
Oh, okay.
And when I worked for Sam Ash, this is a great story. I was repairing amps, obviously the electronics part, and the guy who was the luthier at the time was friends with the guy who repaired the horns. You know, we all hung that down in the basement of Sam Ash, right?
What are horns?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Those are coming back, though. They're
So
coming back.
he comes in and he's talking to the luthier about this guy who's got this old Fender bass that he wants to sell. And so the luthier, of course, he was a collector, and he said, "Yeah, I'll go look at it." So he goes to this guy's house. This is 1975. He goes to this guy's house, and the guy told him it was a 62 Precision. And the reason why the guy told him that is because he didn't want to tell him how old it really was, because he thought it wouldn't be worth as much money. So my buddy goes and he says he just takes the gig bag, which is like this ancient-looking thing. He unzips a corner, he lifts it up, and he takes one look. He closes it back up, and he got the bass and the Ampeg bass amp that went with it, a little 115-inch bass amp, for $175.
Wow.
Well, inside that gig bag was a pristine, never-played 1952 Fender Precision.
Wow.
I mean, played 3 times, had a felt pick in the gig bag, the original, little wire to plug it in. The strings look like they cut it off a piano. I mean, the
Right.
biggest, heaviest wound string
Honking
ever
things,
saw.
yeah.
And so, of course, I did the only thing a bass player could do is I badgered him for a week straight to sell me this bass.
Of course.
Finally, he relented.
Oh, really?
And he said, "Well, I'll trade you for that Martin guitar upstairs." Well, I couldn't run up I was tripped over my feet going up the stairs to get this guitar. Swapped them. I think it cost me $500 for the Martin, for the bass and the amp.
Wow.
I still have both.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you can sell that bass and finance a small, like village or island.
Why would I want to do that?
Yeah, who would ever want to do that?
I know, right? That's awesome.
So I had played that bass for quite a few years, and it's an awesome little bass. And then when I went to the 5-string, of course, it was quite a transition going from this nice
Different
52.
neck, different feel, everything.
Well, all of that, and the weight and everything else, And so when I looked at it, I said, I when I'm going to design this, I want to take some elements of what I really loved about the Fender, and I like that. I'm an old guy, so for me it was that kind of classic look.
Yeah, right. I think we're all not that. I'm probably not that far off from you.
We're not going to say.
Yeah, we're not going to say.
No, yeah.
Well, I told you when I had my first hit, so I gave that
Well,
away.
you did. You gave
the 80s, and I was 21, so I don't mind saying I hit my 50 mark. I hit my 50 mark pretty.
You're a little younger than me.
Well, then you don't look it because we look about the same age. So.
Well, thanks. So when I started designing this, my goal was to get the weight under 8 pounds, for the 5-string, which I did. Got it down to 7.8, which is a big relief on your back when you're playing many gigs.
That's what I like about basses nowadays. The rigs have gotten down. I've got a marked bass cab that weighs nothing. You just pick it up. Your heads are like 8 pounds, 7 pounds.
Well, it's as we're getting older. Those chiropractor bills start adding up.
You don't want to have to do
That's
that.
why I hate
I leave all the
people.
heavy lifting to the drummers, man. Let them handle it. They need to learn how to keep time anyway.
They're called roadies. They're called roadies. So moving forward on I wanted to kind of touch on that a bit. That was one of the things that really caught me too, was the weight and how it felt. It was so comfortable, and we kind of commented on. It's like, what are you using for materials? It's actually a very nice feel to it, but it wasn't heavy at all. And you said, oh, that's actually one of the things that we're kind of focusing on. So
yeah.
So what are some of the materials you're using that made it less weight?
Well, I mean, if you start with the basic wood structure, the body is chambered out. So it's a chambered maple body, so it's all maple construction. The neck is obviously a much thinner neck with a different contour and profile, and talk a little bit about that later. Mm-hmm. But the hardware I'm using all Hipshot ultralight tuners, hip shot, A-series bridge, the counter tensioning system. Most of the components are aluminum,
Nice.
to reduce the weight.
Now, did you use a lot of other companies, and those are the ones that you settled with, or those are the ones that just came to you? How did you get to the place where you're using those products for your bass?
Well, I tried a bunch of different parts. Weight was a big concern.
Right, that's why I asked, exactly.
Yeah, and so I looked at things that, were going to do the job with the least amount of weight, but also would do the job well.
Yes.
And, I wanted to try and source as many components from American companies as I could, because it's an American-made instrument, And so Hipshot, is obviously they're out of New York, and they make great products.
Yeah, that's what I have on my basses. Yeah.
And then the pickups was the next problem, because pickups can actually add quite a bit of weight to the instrument.
Yeah.
And a lot of them you're using the bigger pickups on a lot of but you have other versions, or is that your main?
I'm using mainly, I use the soap bar style.
Yes.
But what I really hit upon, I discovered were the Lace Alumitone pickups.
Yeah, Lace is a great company.
And they're made right in Cypress, California. And they have an interesting technology, which I really like, because I'm an electrical engineer. So, it got kind of
captured
my imagination with it. They're very light, but they have an interesting arrangement where the magnet is sandwiched between the frame of the pickup. And it's an aluminum frame. And when you, strike the string, the magnetic field induces a current in the aluminum, which then they have a small transformer that takes that signal and steps it up to give you your output signal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Tom, keep that thought, man. We've got the music coming in right now. We get these clocks that tell us all these fun things are going on. This has been Music Is Talk with
Rodney Elliott
and Florentino here, talking to our friend Tom at Tensor. We'll be right back in 2 short minutes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The X
those are my favorite.
Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Welcome to Music Gear Talk. Discover the music tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
Hey everyone, this is Rodney Elliott. As soon as he turns on my mic.
It is on. I don't know why that's doing that. What's going on here?
Another one?
No, your mic is on, sir. It's coming through the mixer, but for some reason it's not being registered here.
My mic's dead.
I'll tell you what, this. Why don't you flip around to the side over here, Mr. Rodney, and I'll kind of carry it on from this point forward. Oh, there we go. I think I hit a button.
You got it?
There we go. We were going everywhere else but there. I'm sorry. As I don't usually engineer and talk, I try not to do that because you hit buttons that you're not supposed to by accident.
There you go.
I hit the left-right button. You all know all about that being an engineer.
Too much.
Yes. So, all right, here we go, guys. This is Music Gear Talk with Rodney Elliott, and you tell me my name. I don't know what my name is.
Florentino.
There we go.
Better known as Tino.
It's kind of a crazy day. You know, it's really chill. Got a great company, Tensor, here with us. And we've got Tom, the guru, that's going to tell us more about his basses.
So we're leaving it off. We were talking about the pickups you use. So basically, there was a material and a tone and a sound that we were kind of going for, and they kind of just all fit in what you were looking for in the perfect bass that you were hoping to make one day, and this just all kind of fell into place. So basically, you're talking about the materials you were using.
Yeah, and we left off talking about the lace lumitone pickups,
Yes.
which, kind of caught my engineering, eye, which was the way they're designed is the aluminum frame has a magnet with that is sandwiched between the parts of the frame. And so when the string vibrates, it induces a current in that frame. There's a small transformer that takes that signal and steps it up. And what you wind up with is a fairly broad frequency response because you don't have the coil affecting the sound that much. And then the second thing that happens is they're dead quiet. There's no buzz or hum or anything that comes from them because the field, that the string is vibrating in is a very low impedance field. So you don't get a lot of pickup from, just normal AC line and
Right.
usual buzz and stuff you get
Right.
from fluorescent lights. So it really it really gives you better performance than even a humbucker without sacrificing tone.
Love it.
So it's it's got a great sound, and the other benefit is they're very lightweight.
Yes.
So that was another thing that helped, because one of the problems that you have to account for when you're reducing weight is make sure you're taking it out equally from all parts of the bass because balance now becomes an issue.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to avoid neck dive or you want to avoid the neck,
Exactly. We talked about that a little earlier, yeah.
And so you'll notice on our basses, they are just about perfectly balanced off of the string.
Yeah, that was one of the things that, again, you get your eye gets caught when you see something really cool and there's something special about, the color or the look or the just walking by and something catches your eye. But then when you pick it up, sometimes you pick something up and you put it right back. But he couldn't get rid of me at his booth because I kept playing it. But it felt really, really good. And it had just a great, one of the first things I brought up to him was, wow, this is like a really lightweight bass. What are you doing? Like, this is like, sounds great and it's huge, but it's like really lightweight. And then also I mentioned about how it felt and it wasn't top heavy or bottom heavy and it just had a really nice feel to it. And that always ended up being a really big deal for me, even from the 70s with super old honkin' basses that when you're a really young kid and it's just top heavy and you're just tired trying to hold it up, or bottom heavy when you're trying to play it and it keeps hitting you in the face because it keeps swinging up high. And I mean, these are just things that over the years I kind of gear towards, something that just stays right where it is and it's just easy to play. And it's just made it really, really nice. When I picked it up, I said, wow, like this, it just felt really good. So it's amazing how that was a major part of your attention. I can tell just as soon as I picked it up. Now, tell me a little bit about the different versions that you make.
Well, we have two basic models. One's a 4 and one's a 5. And so the body shape and the style are the same as far as, the structural elements go. However, each of the designs are kind of unique. And I developed this system of making pick guards that involves, it's actually a fabric-based system. So we do a lamination of, a hardboard material-based material and laminate fabric on, and then epoxy encapsulation, then cut it in the CNC. And that allows for a wide variety of different looks and feels.
That really caught my eye.
Yeah, and my wife is a designer. That's her thing. And so
let her roll.
Let her roll, and she's come up with some really cool-looking combinations and designs. And
I agree.
And keep your eyes open because we'll be coming up with some more as time
Nice.
goes on. I have a wall full of different fabrics that we're getting ready to launch out.
Super cool.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
So having different materials and whatnot that you're using, did that affect the weight at all? Pick guards really are thin and small enough that it's more of just about the look and aesthetics, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in the fabric that's going to change from one pick guard to the next.
Got it.
Once you've got that calibrated, it's pretty much the same.
Now, what about the neck and the body? You're going to have a little different neck for a 5-string than a 4-string in the sense of the way it feels, and it's going to be a little wider, obviously.
Yeah, the thing that I was shooting for in the neck, and this will lead into the technology part of it because there's more here than just the bass itself. The neck, I was going for a thinner neck, especially on a 5-string, to be more comfortable to get your hand around, reach up and get the B string, and not necessarily feel like you've got a big log in your hands.
Right.
It's personal preference. There are some guys that like a big log. I'm not one of them. I like a thinner, more sleek neck.
There you go.
And something that's comfortable to play.
On that, sir.
And I spent quite a bit of time analyzing how the neck felt in your hand. And I went through a good 20 profiles, 20 necks that I cut.
Wow.
Finding what felt good and what didn't feel good in your hand.
Got it.
And so my neck profile is unlike any other neck profile you've ever seen because I threw away all of the other thinking.
Nice.
It's not a C, it's not a D.
Now, when you create the necks and the bodies, are you using machines to do this, or are you doing it by hand? How's that?
No, this is done in CNC.
Okay.
That's the engineer part of me. It's you design all this stuff in software, and you actually, put it on the machine and let the machine do the majority of the cutting.
I love it.
The handwork is blending and sanding and all that kind of stuff, but the actual cutting itself, for repeatability purposes and precision, the CNC machine will cut this stuff to within 1,000th of an inch.
You can't
just
get any better.
really accurate.
Yeah.
Now, where'd your body style come from?
That I just created. As a matter of fact, I kind of decided I wasn't going to look at anything because I didn't want to be influenced. I just wanted to sit down, start drawing out a body design that had some, elements to it that were, kind of more of a classic look.
Right.
I
use the word retro, but classic I like a little better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of retro too.
Right. Right.
But it's a little more of a classic styling. It's not, nothing wild or crazy about it. Soft edges. The bass itself is it's kind of like, if you will, a telly-style body with a full radius around the edges. So the edges are all completely radiused all the way around. And that kind of actually feels pretty comfortable. And the other thing I was looking for design was something that was going to lap comfortably. So you could, it's not going to be in your way. You can just sit down and play it.
It's kind of like the Steinberger basses that came out back in the day. You try to play them on your lap without a strap. They're just you can't do it.
And they
looked cool back in the 80s.
They looked cool for like a minute.
Yeah.
After a minute, you're in a minute and a half, you're done. You're like, I don't even want to look at that.
I haven't seen one since Sting played one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't. I just saw an 80s video and I thought, damn, those are actually ugly. Back in the day, I wanted one so bad.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at them now going, I'm so not digging it.
So we've definitely got a better situation now. I'm waiting to get to the neck part because that's what intrigued me the most. But I don't want to jump. I know Rodney's got kind of a plane of train of thought here going on.
So getting back to, and we were kind of discussing the neck. So would you say it's more of a flat neck or a round neck? And did it change from the 5 to the 4? Is there a difference in?
It's actually an asymmetrical neck.
Okay.
The neck is on the top side, near the lower strings. It's a little bit more of a C shape,
Mm-hmm.
And on the bottom side, it's very much almost a sharp D shape with a radius. And what I really found was the neck nests in your hand more comfortably that way.
Sure.
And so the one thing that everybody who picks it up says, wow, this neck is really different, and it really feels cool.
That was one of the first things I said to him.
Yeah. And so now one of the problems, of course, getting a thinner neck like that is stability.
Right. That's what I was kind of going to ask.
Yeah.
How many bolts are you using?
Well,
Or is it glued
that's
in?
a good question, right?
Well, it's actually, the neck is a through neck to the bridge.
Through neck.
Yeah, and it bolts in from the top.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, it bolts in from the top and from the back. I do have a neck plate on the back. But it drops in from the top. And the system that I developed, which is unique to us, which is where the name of the company came from, is the counter-tensioning system. And that's part of that is to stabilize the neck, and it replaces a conventional truss rod. And so it's a bit of a unique system.
Okay.
And so, I guess there's a little bit more detail here in terms of how it actually works. If you take a conventional truss rod, you're basically bowing the neck backwards to counteract the string force. With the typical strings are around 40 pounds of force. So on a 4-string, you're looking at somewhere around 160 pounds. On a 5-string, you're close to 200 pounds of force, yanking down on that neck.
Wow.
And when that's displaced away from the body, you've got vectors that are trying to bow the neck in the direction of the string. So
right.
put a truss rod in, crank that thing down, and try to suck the neck back to straight.
Sure.
I'm going to, as you were seeing the flashing red light of the clock going at you here,
Exactly.
we're going to take a pause for the cause here for a second. I also want to give a shout out to Girls Talk Rock, which will be coming up after this.
Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing who they got today.
Yeah, they're going to be coming up after this. This has been Music Gear Talk with Rodney Elliott. My name is Florentino, joining in because I'm the bass player today. And we've been talking with Mr. Tom Lanni, is that? Okay, very good, from Tensor Basses. We'll be right back in a few short minutes. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Welcome to Music Gear Talk. Discover the music tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
Hey everyone, this is Rodney Elliott with Music Gear Talk. I just wanted to thank Pitbull Audio and SIR Rentals. We're super happy to have them on board as our sponsors. We're going to jump right back in here with Tom Lanni of Tensor Basses. We kind of chopped right off at where we were with, you're talking about the neck and how it was. Did you have a couple different options? Did you go from the back at first, or did you always have the idea of going from the front? And were those ideas that you kind of did on a computer, or was this something that you always wanted to do? Like, what made you decide to go that route?
Well, it's actually, it was driven mainly by the counter-tensioning system that I was developing.
Right. So is this something that you've patented, and this is your own?
Well, I'm waiting for a patent.
Patent pending.
Yeah, it's patent pending. Patent pending right now.
Patent pending.
Yeah.
Like on Shark Tank.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll come out of the patent office before I retire. But,
right.
You know.
Very.
That's a whole nother conversation.
In my other world, I've got 49 patents, so I've been through it a few times.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's I'm very familiar with the patent office.
But it looks good. I mean, you're just waiting right now, and
yeah, it's in a
this whole
patent.
concept was something that you kind of created, and you're waiting.
Yeah, and the way it works is we were talking before about the string tension,
yes,
pulling on the neck,
exactly,
with close to 200 pounds of force. And being that the strings are displaced off the neck, they want to bow the neck towards the strings.
Right.
And that would be
what
what
a
we
tension
call
rod is for.
And we call a vector force.
Okay.
Vectors are tensors, hence the name of the company.
There you go.
Very creative, wouldn't you think?
Heard it here first.
And so the typical way that you deal with that, of course, is put a truss rod in the neck and tighten up on the rod until you bow the neck back to where you've got everything straight.
Straight. Yeah.
But the problem that I saw with that from an engineering perspective is twofold. One is the reason why people like a bigger, fatter neck is because it's stiffer and it doesn't deflect as much under this force.
Right.
The thinner you get the neck, the less stable it becomes. And
exactly.
now you've got issues. And the problem with regular truss rods is that you're tightening down on the neck and you're compressing this long piece of wood with a long rod. And if you think about a quarter of a turn on your truss rod adjustment, can make a very big difference.
Huge.
I mean, you're going little bites, right?
Yeah.
Well, think about this for a minute. That quarter of a turn is on a 1032 thread typically, which means there's 32 threads per inch, which means that each full turn is 32 thousandths of an inch of compression.
Wow.
So 1/4 turn is somewhere around 7 or 8 thousandths of an inch. It's not a heck of a lot.
Right.
And so if you put that rod into a temperature environment where it's getting hot or cold, well, steel will expand and contract with temperature,
right,
and by the way, differently than the wood does.
Right.
And so those differences we call coefficients of expansion can throw the adjustment out. So my idea was, hey, can I get rid of that problem? And so the idea was to anchor the rod, but I actually anchor it higher up the neck. I don't anchor it at the nut. I anchor it all the way up where the tuning machines are, just above the tuning machines, where the force of the strings is actually being imparted on the neck. That rod runs down the neck where the truss rod normally would go. But the difference is it doesn't anchor at the heel of the neck. At the heel of the neck, there's a little lever mechanism that the rod connects to. And then that lever is connected underneath where the pickup housing is to another bar that the strings hook through. And so the string tension actually generates the counter tension. So those two forces always stay in balance.
Wow.
And since the strings are generating that counter tension, there's nothing that the neck can do. There's no expansion and contraction issues. They're always in balance with each other.
Well, I noticed a major sustain did that affect it? Was that a major part? Because I noticed that. It was one of the things I brought up. I was like, wow, you hear it and you feel it, you can't see it. So what you're describing is what I heard and what I felt, but I didn't know.
Yeah, that definitely makes a difference in sustain, because if you think about it, you don't have a lot of wood in that loop that's damping the sound or the vibration of the string.
And I
it
thought,
just couples all the way through.
The sustain on this is amazing. What's going on with this?
He was mentioning that. My question for you is, with that in mind, tuning and intonation of the bass. Do you have to manage that?
No, it tunes normally.
Okay.
I mean,
does it keep a tune because of it? Does it keep the tune a lot?
Sure.
Better.
Yeah,
because it's obviously working together more than the average bass that's going through the wood. This is literally the tension rod going right through.
Yeah, well, but the tension rod is a pretty rigid item.
Right.
The thing that's actually flexing is the neck.
Exactly.
Right. So once that's in balance, the tension rod itself is going to change a heck of a lot less with temperature than your strings are.
Right.
I mean, if your bass is going out of tune 90% of the time, the air conditioner kicked on, and all of a sudden now it's going sharp because the strings are contracting.
Right.
Yeah. If I ever find the bass that I use, if it ever goes out of tune for some reason, I guess because I like things cold, it goes. Now you explain why it goes sharp every so often.
That's because the AC probably kicked on wherever you are, and it cooled
off. The club right above your head, the
yeah.
AC. You're like,
yeah. Now I know.
Yeah.
Or when it's totally packed at those huge clubs that you play that are sold out, you wonder why. It's because it's getting hot and it's changing your bass.
Getting hot in here.
Exactly.
Anyway.
We go there once in a while. Sorry.
Yeah, we just crazy. Good times here.
So there's one other part of that
okay.
that everybody's going to start wondering about is the relief in the neck. And by relief, we call that how much bow you want to allow in the neck.
Right, because some people that are slap like a little more, some people that
like
play metal or jazz, they like it smooth and quicker and shorter.
So it became pretty obvious to me that I needed some way to be able to let people adjust this to what their preferences were.
Sure.
And so in conjunction with the closed-loop system, I developed this little force balance adjustment system that sits in the back of the neck down underneath the bridge. And you access it by removing the strap button and sticking Allen wrench in. And you can adjust this, and it's got two opposing springs that introduce a positive and negative force into that loop. So you can dial it in very precisely where you want it.
Wow.
And the cool part about it is because it's I have a 0 fret design, which I like. I think you get much better action, and you don't have to spend your life trying to file that nut precisely to get the best playing.
Which I have done many times.
Yeah. And you fret the highest fret, and now you can actually see the amount of relief in the neck, and you just deflect the string, and you can measure just with your hand how much deflection you're getting, and you can set it to where you like it, and it's a very simple
and that doesn't
adjustment.
change intonation at all?
No, well, I mean, intonation is really going to be affected more by the actual location of the bridge saddles.
Yeah.
So if you're raising and lowering your bridge saddles to adjust, your height off of the neck, you're going to affect the intonation. But it's a fully adjustable bridge, so you can just set your intonation, while you set your saddles.
I thought if the bow of the neck's going to change that.
No, we're talking about, whether the bow is giving you 15 thousandths of deflection or 30 thousandths of deflection.
Okay, so it's not big enough.
It's not going to really affect the intonation.
And then tone-wise, what would that affect the tone at all because of doing the neck that way? What would change in tone? Again, I mean, I noticed a major sustain and the way it held tone, but was there a lower? Was there a higher? Was it more smooth? What would it affect in the sound wise?
Well, I think it gives it a little bit more punch, because you have the sustain, so it's a little bit more sensitive. You get a little bit more punch out of it. And the aluminum pickups, I mean, they're punchy to start with. So I mean, it's a pretty forward sound. One of the things that I noticed right away was, with my other basses, I'd be playing and everything sounded great until the band started playing, and then all of a sudden,
it just sounds
we
like
talked about that last week. Yeah.
And these things cut right through. I mean, it's amazing how great they sound, while the band is playing.
Is there a certain flavor or genre of music that you find is best suited for the bass, or vice versa?
Well, this was really designed to be a rock bass. I'm going to be working on, kind of a jazz version of it. This wasn't really intended to be for straight up jazz. This was more for rock, pop type of stuff.
Are you a rock musician per se? Is that where you started?
That's just Don't even ask me to slap. I play notes. That's it.
And do you have a favorite artist or a favorite band or someone that you came up with that you?
As bass players go, I actually always really liked Alan Spencer. He played with Joe Cocker.
Yeah.
I really thought his style was really cool.
Nice.
That was one that I liked a lot. And of course, my idol when I was a kid was Tim Bogert.
Nice.
I mean, he was like, he was the most out front bass player around in those days.
Yeah, he was like way out front.
And then I almost quit bass when Stanley Clarke came out because I just said, well, there's no point in me keeping on playing because.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times with some people, and then I still go in the garage with the light off and get back into it after a while. But certain bass players just I don't even want to touch bass. I'm done.
Well, it's the crazy thing is we've had some really amazing players come in here, and they'll play, and they're like, I don't want to play anymore.
Don't hand the bass to me.
You're my
now.
friend. I don't want to play anymore. Don't ask me to play on track. Yeah, so there's just amazing players. But you know what? It comes down to how you feel. That's one thing I realized, and how the bass feels. So I mean, that's an important thing with all this. And do you like the sound? Does it inspire you? Because really, it's one of the tools of the trade that becomes a true extension of who you are. And people kind of have that identity with that. And wow, this is going really quick, and we're at that time here. Before we go, since we have bass players, I want to give a shout out to Jason Sheff from Chicago, who is graciously tied us in with his giving away a bass. He's given away one of his own personal basses. He played it at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which was pretty nice. It just happened this Friday. He sent us a video that day, which was really crazy because you'd think he's getting ready, he's going to celebrate, and he sends it after he does this.
I just got to give my address.
Yeah, just right. So it's pretty cool that he's doing that. He's playing it on tour with Earth, Wind & Fire. So we're giving a shout out to Jason. Go to winmybass.com, WINMYBASS.com. This has been Enter Talk Radio with Rodney Elliott, Florentino, and we'll be right back in a very short second.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get to the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at progressivemedicalcenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Welcome to Music Gear Talk. Discover the music tech that powers the biz with your host, Rodney Elliott.
That's right. We're back with Rodney Elliott and Florentino on Music Gear Talk, powered by the mighty WS Radio Networks and EnterTalkRadio.com. We are the worldwide leader in music business talk. We are here with Tom, I'm trying to get the last name, Lanni, I guess that's right.
That's good, yeah.
From Tensor Basses. I want to give a shout out to Pitbull Audio at pitbullaudio.com and, of course, SIR at SIR-USA.com. Both those companies have been a long-time sponsors with us, and Pitbull Audio is stepping it up. In fact, if you go to our website, you get a chance to see their featured product page. They've got a great ESP guitar that's usually twice the money for half the price at $249.99. So you want to check that out. And of course, I want to give a shout out to our good friends in Chicago. So Wally, if you're listening right now, which you do all the time, Wally's the percussionist for Chicago. I appreciate you, brother. We're looking forward to seeing more from you. When you guys come back down this way with Earth, Wind, Fire, we're going to get out there. And of course, Jason Sheff, who's graciously brought us on to help give away his bass. So that's really cool. Tom, this industry, it's wacky, it's crazy, with everything going on. What's your thoughts, my brother?
Well, listen, I did this as a, kind of a fun thing to go do and start this business and just enjoy it. And I let the wackiness go on around me, and, I'm just going to plug away and, cut a niche, and hopefully I'm successful enough to be able to make some great basses and have people enjoy them. That's all I really set out to do.
And do we have any favorite bass players that you would love to see play your bass, or do we have anyone that's using them right now that you're really happy that they're out there pushing your product?
Well, I do have a good guy down in Nashville, John Reed, with Richie Owens and the Farm Bureau, and he's a big fan. He's loving it and playing it. Displaced his old Fender Jazz bass, so I felt pretty good about that.
Wow.
And if somebody that I would love to see playing it, well, I mean, I have to be Paul McCartney. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
I'm an old guy.
Tomorrow.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Paul who?
Isn't he a friend of Kanye West?
Yeah, McCartney what?
No, that would be awesome, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I
definitely.
think Paul's still rocking Yamahas, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I know he was those Hofner.
Well, back in the Beatles.
Well,
days,
I mean,
he still rocks them to this day. He still
he'll play
plays
that
them.
one. He'll play that one. But I think, as in general, I think
main is Yamaha.
Yeah, I think he's endorsed by Yamaha.
And he plays through
He could buy
Mesa
Yamaha.
Boogie bass amps, which is okay. They're
awesome.
I love Mesa Boogie,
Yeah.
but for him, you always think he'd be rocking some old Vox something. But
No, I think he wants to be relevant tone wise.
the new.
Yeah, it's like I think some of the nostalgia is just nostalgic. I don't necessarily think it's relevant.
Well, he's got some great players too. So, was there anyone else? I mean, what were some of the bass players that you growing up with that just absolutely got you kind of involved in playing bass, much while making them? Who are some of your influences in general?
Oh, I mean, as I said before, Tim Bogert was a very big influence on me when I was younger. He was probably my favorite growing up. I mean, he was the guy that got me started playing bass, when I was listening to the old Vanilla Fudge.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it was really cool stuff. And that, and of course, the Beatles was, McCartney was always great. And that was my
I've heard
junior,
of them.
growing up, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I got started. And Alan Spenner, and the guy from Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Don't ask me to remember his name because I can't even remember it.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears guy. That's his name.
Yeah. And all of those guys were really great. A lot of great bass lines. I was probably more into a groove kind of a playing. Something where the bass was cooking and it was a groove as opposed to. Jazz is great, but it's a different world.
Right.
I'm not going to go there because I'm not talented enough to do that.
So where can we find your basses? Are they? Do you have a website? Are you online?
Yeah, we're presently everything is available at our website www.tensorbass.com, and there's a link on there to our online store. You can also find them. We're opening up dealers now. We just opened up the Bass Exchange up in L.A., so he's got a couple up there for people to go in and try out.
Nice. That's a great store for that. I haven't.
Yeah, we were a fan of there. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, and so we'll start posting online new dealers as we open them up. So.
And I remember you mentioning about Sam Ash. Have you ever looked into Sam Ash or Guitar Center as an option yet, or is that just not?
Well, no, we're looking at everybody right now.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
I don't know if we were just talking about that before the show kicked off, and unfortunately, Sam Ash or Guitar Center, they don't usually have the high end boutique style basses.
Right.
I've yet to go to a store outside of maybe say their rooms that they might have older used gear. But in general, I haven't seen them carry any of that stuff. They do at Pitbull Audio, though. That's one thing I'm going to try to plug you up with Pitbull.
Yeah, they do really well online, too.
Yeah, they have an area where they have some of the Mayona basses that are in the same price range, the $3,000 price range as yours, and some I can't remember the guitars. I don't pay as much attention to the guitars, even though I would start off as a guitar player. I just always look at the basses. But there's a couple of those companies that will actually let you put the product in their store so people can try them out.
Now, if I am gonna purchase a bass and I ask if you had a certain color or a certain pick guard that I would love to have made, I mean, how long does it take to have a bass made?
Well, I tried to make it so you didn't have to wait your rest of your natural life to get the instrument.
Which feels like that at other companies.
Our lead time is around 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That's not too bad.
That's actually really quick.
If you're having one built for you, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Gibson and Carvin, all of it, but a year is just like, am I even still playing by the
I want you to remember that you ordered it when you pick it up.
When it shows up, you're like, oh, yeah.
I remember I bought that bass, spent $3,000 on it, and got the extras. That's awesome. 6 weeks is really reasonable.
Yeah.
And do you have a certain string company that you like using? That
right now I use GHS. Obviously you can put whatever strings you want.
Of course,
no
just I didn't know if
but,
you had a special one you like.
I've kind of settled on the GHS pressure wound. I like the balance between. I used to play flat wounds all the time.
Yep.
I like the life out of a round wound, but the problem is, of course, sliding up and down the neck. It's like
sandpaper.
It's like putting rat tail files under your fingers.
Exactly.
But the pressure wounds have an interesting. I used to use also the half rounds, right, which were kind of a compromise string, but they felt like emery paper for the first month.
Yeah,
by the time you broke the string in, it was time to change them.
Yep.
And the pressure wounds, they'll feel really nice out of the box. And it's an interesting technique they use. They actually coin the wire over the outer wrap as they're winding it. So it's more oval shaped than it is round. But you still get the life that you get out of a round wound, but you don't have the bite going up and down your hand.
Nice.
So I like them a lot.
And they last a little longer, too, I think, right?
Yeah, they last longer, a little easier on the frets, too.
Yeah. We've got a guest joining us in. Girls are going to be talking rock here in a few short minutes, so make sure you folks stay tuned to that because that's going to be an awesome show. And, of course, we've been talking with, some great bass talk here. And, as we got about a minute and a half left, what would you like people to know about your company and about your product?
Well, it's made in the USA right here in Southern California, all made in our shop. So,
and where are you located?
In Laguna Niguel, California. So
Beth she's giving a rah-rah over there. She's from that area. Say hello, Beth, to the people. one half of Rocking Girls.
And that's where your shop is, and that's where you're shipping from. And
Yeah.
And we're finding you again on www.tensorbass.com is where we're going to find you. Now, what price range are you?
Our street price for the 4 strings are $24.95, and for the 5 strings is $27.95. So it's reasonable.
No,
yeah, that's
it's
for
very
USA
for that
made
quality.
bass.
Yeah,
with with advanced technical production techniques. As I spit that all out.
Must spell that.
Yeah, you must spell that 3 times fast. So we'll have to have you come back on. I'd love to take a look at the basses as we go here. Tom, thank you very much. And from both me and Rodney, I'm speaking on behalf of him.
Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Definitely. Make sure you stay tuned for Girls Talk Rock coming up next. And, of course, we got that special broadcast with Jason Sheff happening on this Friday. He's going to be giving away his bass at the end of this month, so that's going to be pretty powerful. This has been Music Gear Talk with Rodney Elliott. I'm joining him today. My name is Florentino. I also have the Changing Stage radio show and Radio Band Diego. Stay tuned again. We've got this great show happening right after this. And check out all the fun stuff on EnterTalkRadio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Hey guys, CS Keys here to introduce you to San Diego's #1 health meal prep provider, Fresh and Fit Meals. With over 40 menu items to choose from, several pickup locations all over America's finest city, made and delivered fresh, never frozen. Save on time and money. Super convenient and improves the quality of your life. Just visit the website, freshandfitmeals.com, for all the menus and the pricing. Or give them a call at 858-805-5949 for more details. Remember, you are what you eat, so you might as well be fresh and fit with Fresh and Fit Meals.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.